How's it going, guys? This is Mouseball, and this is the AttackMouse Nation and my salty gearheads. Welcome to the automotive side of my YouTube experience, and here I have my friend Steve Michaels, who is actually an Abarth owner himself, and we're going to walk over and we're going to actually take a look at his car, and he's going to explain a couple of the modifications that he did to his Abarth. And obviously, Steve is going to tell you about the performance modifications, what he's done to the suspension, and how he actually intends to drive this car, which, you know what, if you have an Italian car and you're not driving it like you have your hair on fire, well, you might have a mental condition. So there's no doubt that Steve has put some pretty good work into the car. Now, obviously, a lot of the modifications that Steve's done to the car, they're not as aesthetic as, say, Mouseball, but he's obviously got the full exhaust. And Steve, explain to us what kind of exhaust you actually have on the car.
Yeah, it's an ATP high flow catted downpipe, all the way down to a Circuit Works mid to catback. I just recently put on there. It sounds a lot better than stock.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. When I heard you come in, the car sounded absolutely amazing. That's for sure. A lot of burbles, a lot of cracks and pops. And the best part is, Steve, is that no tune to make that happen, right?
Yep.
It's just, that's just the way. Well, you have a Euro Compulsion tune, but you don't have a crackle and pop tune, do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you have a crackle and pop tune. All right, so I thought his exhaust was naturally making that noise, but he has a crackle and pop tune added on to the car. And me being the dummy I am, I didn't even realize that he sent me a video via Facebook showing me him accelerating actually, and the crackle and pop tune going off. Plus, not to mention that, the giggles that came with it. So right now he's got the lipstick red interior, and obviously this is a high-end option for the Fiat 500 Abarth, and he has the traditional orange gauges. Now obviously with the traditional orange gauges, they are the ones that are usually seen in Ferraris and other Italian cars. So the traditional orange backlighting is definitely something that a lot of Italian cars are accustomed to, and a lot of people who actually drive Italian cars expect. Mouseballs is actually digital. So this particular car right here, obviously we're going to see what he's got under the hood, and he's got the crinkle red valve cover that looks really beautiful, and looks like he has a Road Race Motorsports intake.
Silla Concepts turbo blanket, stock turbo with 1446. It's got a forged wastegate actuator with your forged blow-off valve, atmospheric. It has the ATP high flow downpipe, as I mentioned. It's got Granatelli coils from MPX. Gap spark plugs that are NGK down to 0.24 for the tune, of course. Your boost leaks and all the other bells and whistles.
Yeah, and the thing is that the Abarth does have a boost leak, and the boost leak fix is obviously a well-known video on YouTube. And the thing is, when it comes down to these little cars, well, they definitely generate a lot of heat, and you can still pretty much feel the heat off of this engine right now. It's mildly warm. But the thing is that he has the Silla Concepts turbo blanket, and that definitely helps out a lot with taking care of the thermal. Now also he seems to have a front mount intercooler as well. That's a very, yeah, from Quartz of Forza Performance. So having the front mount intercooler is very important. It actually allows for more airflow, and it gets rid of all that plumbing mess that generally the original setup has, which unfortunately Mouseball does have the original setup. Now the thing is that Steve Michaels is also a auto mechanic, such as myself. So, you know, me and him, basically we come from the same world, from the same paradigm, and, you know, we both drive Abarths. You know, me, my secondary car, as you guys know, is a Chevrolet Corvette, but it needs the valve body done. So once the valve body is done, all right, then just back up. So that way she can leave. It looks like Steve's had to move his car multiple times, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter, because it's kind of good for us, because we get the actual sound of his exhaust on film. Exactly how it sounds. Beautiful sound coming out the back, nice and roary. which is exactly how these cars are supposed to sound. And he'll give it a nice light rev, not too much. And there you go. That's more than enough because we don't want to get kicked out of here. But as you can see by Steve's smile, the sound right there is enough to, you know, give you that neck to neck, ear to ear grin. And, you know, at this point, you know, having to move the car multiple times, he deserves to give it at least one rev. So there's no doubt, guys, that there's only 3 of us here. You know, there's only Mouseball, Steve's car, and then another Abarth that's over on the side, owned by an older man named Eduardo. I think it's his son's car, but he basically drove it out here for today. And I just wanted to introduce you to Steve. Steve's probably gonna hit some more shows with us eventually, and obviously he'll be in more videos. But not to mention that, he'll also probably have his own YouTube channel eventually, which I'm hoping that he will, because we need more of us out there who own these cars and more content for people who actually want to get into these cars, because they're starting to fly off the shelves in the used market. So guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy. And remember, if your name is Steve Michaels, you're probably the best mechanic in the shop. Take it easy, guys. Mouseball out.